You can be the most valuable person on your team. You can be the MVP of your department. You can be the highest performer, the most loyal, the most dedicated, the person that stays late, the team player, the happy-go-lucky, the socializer. But guess what? At the end of the day, you are still replaceable. Everyone is replaceable. That's what I will be speaking about with you all today. Hello, hello. How are we doing today? Welcome back to another episode of the KimUnity Soulutions Podcast. I am your host, Kim the SME. As always, I am only speaking from my experience. If this is your first time tuning in with us, we welcome you. We welcome you. This is the only podcast that turns workplace challenges into real world solutions. So let's get into it. Have you ever been so naive to think that because you do such a great job, because you give it your all, because you've been there for so long, because you have the most knowledge, because you have the relationships, because you have the great attitude? Have you ever been so naive to think that you will not be the one to be let go? Or are you on the sidelines right now, seeing that already taking part in your life? You've already been let go. Maybe you were part of restructuring, mergers, or, companies being bought and sold. Maybe it was because of cutting costs. Or it could be leadership changes. Or maybe there was a change in your behavior or your performance. Have you ever let it get to your head about what you know, so you'll slack because you're the only one that can do it? There's people out there that will not take their vacation time. They'll just let it accrue and accrue because they know that they're the only ones that know how to do this responsibility. And not only that, they don't want to share that information. Or maybe it is a conflict of interest to where they can't share it. Maybe the company isn't set up correctly to where there is someone that can replace it without impacting the flow or the controls in place. For example, if you're an accountant, you shouldn't have access to the money and do the books. You shouldn't be making the deposits and, controlling the numbers. There's a conflict there. There's a control issue there. So maybe you're not taking those vacations, or there's people out there, I won't say you, but there are people out there who are limiting themselves of their free time because they are so dedicated to this job. They are so dedicated to the responsibilities. They are so dedicated to everything being done the way that they want to do it, that they're not passing or sharing that information. And by not doing so and being that sole owner of those responsibilities, you feel as though your position is secure. That is not the case. That is not the case. Your position is never secure, regardless of what you bring to the table. Organizations prioritize continuity over your contributions. Regardless of what you put into the company, they're thinking about how the company can grow, how it can expand, how the operations can continue. Yes, your contributions are valued, or should be, and they're an asset, but that can only get you so far, especially if they are taking cost-cutting measures. You may be impacted. At the end of the day, it basically comes down to the numbers. I know, believe me, I know. What I have found is that your insight, your value, your input, your knowledge, all of that really isn't valued until after you leave. Yes, your manager, your leader understands your responsibilities. They understand what you provide, but they really don't know the details. They really don't know all the steps unless there are immaculate standard operating procedures of what your title, your responsibilities include. They really have no idea. And then there's always those one-offs, that knowledge base, especially if you've been in that position for some time. You understand how to resolve challenges that are one-offs. You are a problem solver. You are a critical thinker. There's no way for you to document every single instance, every single routine, every single, again, one-off that may occur during that role, right? And so leadership may not realize all that you bring to the table until you leave. And I've experienced that. I have left companies and I have kept in contact with my coworkers and friends that I have met there. And what I've ended up finding out is that when I leave, they've had to hire 2 or more people to account for my absence because they didn't realize what all I did. And so I can hear perspectives right now of what I just said. When I said that they've had to hire 2 or 3 people to cover me, some people, there's 3 different categories, I would say. A part of that would be, some of you are thinking, well, if they had to hire 3 people to cover you, then that means you were doing way too much. That means that you were overworking yourself, or you're going above and beyond and not getting paid for it. There's another group of you that can relate to what I'm saying. You can relate to knowing your job and being able to make it more efficient and understanding the roles around you and how to combine those efforts. So it doesn't always take as long as you think. We just have the knowledge and the know-how of how to get it done and get it done more timely, more efficiently, and more effectively. Then there's another group that says, well, yes, they probably did hire you. I'm sorry, they probably did hire 2 or 3 other people to cover you, but they probably hired them at a lower rate. And now they're getting, more output from them. And that could very well be true. That I can't control that, right? But to that first group that says, you're giving too much, you were doing way too much. I've never been a fan of mediocrity. I was never raised to give half of myself. I was always taught to excel, to exceed. I treat the roles and responsibilities that I have as if they're my own, as if it's my company. When I see that there's something wrong, I'm going to raise those red flags. If there's something I see I can do better, I'm going to do it better. And so I've never been, especially with my name is on it. My work, I see it as a representation of myself. So yes, I'm going to give it my all. And guess what? Now that I'm in the position that I'm in, I'm expecting the same from my team. I'm expecting them to give it all. Does that always happen? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I know that what I have put in, I will get back. I understand how to speak to my team. I understand how to make the workflow smoothly. So it's very important to understand what you bring to the table, and especially what are your own values? What are your values you set for yourself? If I didn't challenge myself back then, and if you're not challenging yourself where you are, you're stunting your growth. And that's all there is to it, because When you push yourself forward, when you try to gain that knowledge and that experience and those skills, it takes you to another level. It takes why I can't even see myself staying at the same level of when I come in versus when I leave. I'm bringing more and I expect to receive more. But either way you look at it, we are all replaceable. We're all replaceable. But guess what? We are replaceable, but we can't be replicated. Imagine a puzzle. Imagine a puzzle. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but my husband used to put puzzles on the table. And so since we're all working different schedules and some of us are going to school and we're not always here at the same time, but he would put the pieces of the puzzle together on the table. And all the family, as you're going through the day, will go through, you sit down and you try to figure out those pieces. And then you and then you get to it and you only have a few more pieces left. Have you ever done a puzzle and then realized there was one puzzle piece missing? And now you're looking all over, you're looking through the box, somebody threw the box away because we're almost done, then we could just tape it. We're missing a piece. You're looking all over the floor and the chairs. No piece. So now you have a puzzle with one missing piece. And I want you to visualize this puzzle with this one missing piece. Look at the shape of it. It is unique. It is a specific size. It has specific colors and designs on it. It plays a huge role in this puzzle. That is you. You are that unique piece. You are that piece of the puzzle. What happens when you don't have that piece? You can stick something else in there. You can stick something smaller in that space or bigger and try to trim around it. But if you put something smaller in it, there's going to be all these gaps around it. It's not going to fit quite right. It's going to be tight in this area, loose in this area. You're going to be able to see the background at the top or around the bottom. It's not going to be a perfect fit because that is a unique piece of the puzzle. That is you. You replace. You can be replaced, but you can't be replicated. That's what we bring to the table. That's why when you leave, you're replaced, but it's not the same. They bring a different type of energy than you brought. They bring a different type of skill, a different type of knowledge base, a different type of experience, a different type of attitude, a different type of momentum or flow, teamwork, value. I say all this to say that regardless of what happens, never think that something was taken from you. Never think that what you had was left over here or left over here. No, you have it with you. You should, whoever is thinking that, you should write down 3 things that are unique to you, that you bring to the table. Just so you'll know, you need to take account of what you do, what's inside of you. What makes you unique? What makes you valuable and special? You're taking that wherever you go. It's not just to that employer. It's not to just that company, that organization, that customer. You take that wherever you go. So you can be replaced. And the same way that that decision was made for you, you are making those decisions for other people. Think about it when you let go of your landscaper because you saw somebody else doing a better job. So now you've let go of that landscaper. And so because the grass would look green on the other side, right? Then you hire this other person, but then you find out they do a great job, but they're not reliable. They're not there timely. When they're not a man of their word. They get there and now you have some tools missing from your garage because they probably steal a few. I'm just saying this happens more than you know. Things come up missing, or even housekeeping. The same thing, and they're bonded and everything. But what if you're replacing one with the other and then you start having things come up missing? You're exchanging one thing from another, but you don't realize at what cost. And that's exactly what these companies and organizations are doing. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't, because change is necessary. You should think of change as an opportunity. They're not letting you go. They are giving you freedom. They're not letting you go. They are making you available for more opportunities. There's something better out there for you. Whether you're a leader, whether you're a staff member, where you are a frontline employee and you are being let go, you have been replaced, there is something better out there for you. I'll never forget, I was at a company when I was working in California, and I had been promoted 3 times, and I was really enjoying my position. But then things started getting uncomfortable. I thought it was greener over there. I thought I could make a greater impact over there, and I was. But leadership wasn't on board with what I was doing or wanted to do. I'm trying to figure out how else to word that. That's all I can say. They weren't on board. Before I moved to that, let me put it like this. Before I moved to that position, I was in the department where the department that hired me, they were the ones bringing me work, right? And so they would deliver the work to me late, or it was incomplete, or it didn't have all the signatures. And so when a position opened over there, I was like, ooh, let me apply over there because I know I can make a good impact. I know I can, help them and help this department over here. I know that I can get everything done more timely, more effective, more efficient. And so I applied and I got the position. And I told them exactly what I was seeing on the other side and how I could benefit and bring value to them. And they said okay, and they were happy about it until I got there. And for some reason they didn't want all the signatures. They didn't want it to be timely. I was in an effort to correct the flow or to get in the flow. They were unhappy that I was doing that for some reason. And so it didn't work out well. I thought the grass would be greener. And so what I realized afterwards, because after I left that department, I actually moved away. I moved out of state for better opportunity, and like the whole family moved. It was a family decision. But what I realized was, had it been too perfect, had it flowed, had everything went smoothly, had it went that I got over there and, I was able to resolve those issues and really fit in with the team, I wouldn't have wanted to leave. I would not have wanted to leave, but it was already set. My family had already moved out of state. At this point in time, they were waiting on me, but I'm like, okay, another month. Let me get more money up because I still have to get there and then find another job. But no, that wasn't the plan. That's not what God wanted. He had to make that uncomfortable. He had to make me be the puzzle that didn't fit. Otherwise, I would have been too comfortable and not wanted to leave. So sometimes we're put in these positions to force us out because there's a better opportunity on the other side. We may not see it at the time. It's painful. It hurts. It's stressful. It's frustrating. It's emotionally draining. But if we don't go through it, we're going to miss our blessing on the other side. That's what I want you all to see, is that change is uncomfortable, but often necessary. There's something on the other side of that challenge, of that current task, responsibility. There's something on the other side of that. And so what we have to do is get in the flow. We have to always stop fighting for what we believe is right all the time. Just because it's comfortable. Just because it's comfortable doesn't mean it's right. We have to at some point say, it's out of my control. If you prayed about it, it's not in your hands anymore. You've meditated on it. You've realized it's you have no decision. It's already happened. But it's important to not get so caught up in that mindset that we forget, okay, they really didn't take me away from me. I'm still me. I still bring those same values wherever I go. So I'm going to be an asset to this next company. And when you start changing your mindset and your attitude, and when you start thinking about, okay, this is for my good. Okay, that means something better is out there for me. Because when I think back over other situations, other instances that I've been through where I was upset, but I got over it. And you might have to go through your journal to remember. There's so much that you used to worry about that you no longer worry about. It's a distant thought. Think about that right now. Think back to what it is you overcame. I remember being in a car accident and I couldn't walk. It was painful. I couldn't sit. I would get these shooting pains up my leg and up my back. I would have these migraines. I don't have that anymore. I'm over that. I've overcame that. And now you're focusing on a new challenge. Know that it's for your good. Understand that you can be replaced, but you cannot be replicated. This is personally or professionally. Think about families. Think about some people have grown old with their spouse or loved ones. And they say they're not replaceable. But they end up getting remarried. But when you talk to them, they'll tell you only the position was, the person wasn't. There's no way to replicate that person. There's no way to get that same person back. Think about the little girl or the little boy who didn't know his mom or dad. But a man came into their life that they began calling them father. No, it's not their biological father, but they've treated them as such. They have been replaced, but they can't be replicated. They are giving them something that no one else could. No one else did. That is what they know. This is all that I really wanted to share with you. It's just important for us to shift our mindset, shift our perspective, understand that no one can really take anything from you because it's in you. And you are one in a million. You're not even that. You are one of one. You are one of one. And you are an asset wherever you go. Just because you're valuable doesn't mean you're indispensable. Doesn't mean you can't be replaced. Know your worth. Know what you bring to the table. And know that everything is for your good. Whatever you came there with, you are leaving with more. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode today. If you did enjoy this episode, like, comment, subscribe, follow. I am your host, Kim the SME. As always, I am only speaking from my experiences. I know there are a lot of people out here. I'm seeing the news, I'm seeing the articles, and soon on social media, I will be presenting those news articles and commenting on them. So go ahead and follow me at KimUnity Soulutions, whether on YouTube or Instagram. That is where you can find me. I look forward to connecting with you next week. And until then, be the solution. Be the solution. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed.